Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to retouch your hair in Photoshop. Without wasting your time, let's get started. So if you zoom into the image, you discover that the hair is looking crisp and looking harsh, and I don't know, should I use the word hard? And look at it, just I don't really like the way it looks like. So we are just going to do three things. We're going to add some oil paint effect, and we're going to apply our curves. So without wasting your time, please follow me carefully. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make it look oily and soft. So how do we do that? We need to create a new layer and make sure you change your convert it to smart object. Why are we converting to smart object? So that if it's on smart object, it's always easier to come back and adjust whatsoever effects and adjustment we've done. It's always easy to come back and readjust. That is why we are making it a smart object. So the next thing we want to do is we go to your filter and come under styles and come under oil paint. So let's drag everything back to 0 so that I make little explanation here. Okay, this is what we have at 0.1 and all that. So if you look at it now, we want to first work on the stylization. And how do we do that? We just increase to, now please listen carefully. There are no rules to how there are no rules to the numbers, the particular numbers that you should use. It all depends on what you want. So once I get what I want, the feelings that I want, I'm just going to stop. So I would advise you should do the same. It depends on what you want. So I keep increasing the stylization until maybe around, okay, let me see. I just keep increasing till I get what I want. And okay, at around 6 I think I'm okay with this. Around 6 I'm okay. The cleanliness, I'm going to increase it as well. Okay, I hope you see what I'm doing. Let me bring it closer so that we see. I just increased to around 2, okay, 2.3 the scale. Let's drag it and see the effect. Okay, the scale I'll just increase to around 2 as well. Then the bristle detail I'll adjust a little bit as well. I want that oily, smooth, soft look. So, and the lighting, please, it's important. The lighting, I want the light to fall from this side, let's say around 45 degrees thereabout. So it depends on where your light is falling from. So you just adjust it based on the portrait you have. So for me, I think at around 45 it's okay for me. The shine, I don't touch the shine, and it's because I don't like the effect. If you adjust the shine, you discover it gives it one kind of look. I don't like it, so I'm not going to touch it, and I just press OK. Now let's just see before and after. Before and after, forget about the skin now, we're not working on the skin, it's just the hair, but you can see the soft effect on the hair, and that's exactly what I want. So but it's too much. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to mask it. Hold your Alt and press on mask, and it's going to hide everything we've done. So we're just going to bring it back more of manually. Make sure you pick up your brush, set the hardness to 0, and make sure it's white. If it's not set, just press D on your keyboard, it will reset automatically. And that being said, you make sure your flow, you can set your flow to around 10. I prefer 10 for me. You can decide to go lower or go higher. So what I'm going to do now, I just paint straight on the hair. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And we can see, if we keep painting on the hair, we are getting that soft, oily look already, instead of that crisp, harsh texture that we have earlier. I don't want that. I want that soft, oily look. Okay, just keep painting, paint accordingly. All right, trying to make sure this video is as short as possible, yet well and self-explanatory. Okay, all right, let's see what we have now. Let's see before and after, before and after, before and after. Let me just zoom in so that we'll see before, when we have that texture and crisp looking, but now we have that oily, soft look, and that's exactly the position I want to find myself, and that's where I am right now. So I'm happy, super excited about what I've done so far. So the next thing I want to do is I come to my curves. Meanwhile, remember I told you the reason for using smart object the other time. Let's assume that we still want to adjust something here now. We just come back to our oil paint and just double click on it. It will bring us back to the settings, but I don't want to adjust anything. I just wanted to show you. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we want to come to our curves, and the first course we are creating, let's just name it highlight. For instance, you can name it anything, so I'll just name it one. That's my highlight, and I'll just press OK. Then I'll change this blend mode. Please change the blend mode to screen. Yeah, once you change the blend mode to screen, then we can always invert. You invert the mask. You can just use your control high on keyboard, and it will just change. It will just hide the screen effect already. Then we'll create another curves layer, and you just change the blending option as well to multiply darkens. So just like we did earlier, we just convert we invert it rather. Please invert. Just control I and it will invert. For some reason, I don't know why it's not responding. So there are other ways you can do that actually. Just click on the properties here, make sure the mask is selected, and come to invert and just invert it. So there are other ways you can do that. Then the next thing you want to do is you pick up your brush and we paint. Okay, so our opacity is set to 100, our flow is set to 10. We have other settings for the brush, so we can just use what we have earlier. So what do we do now? On the highlight part, which I name number 1, and the shadow I name number 2, you can name them properly. So for my highlight, which is number 1, I will just paint on those parts that I think it should be shiny. That's where I'm going to paint. You can see them. I'll just paint them so that they become obvious. You can always reduce the size of your brush depending on where you are painting and the kind of effect you want to have. Please don't forget, always learn to reduce the size of your brush while painting. Thank you. All right, I want this part shining. I want this part shining here as well. This part, okay. I want here as well. I want this back side and here. All right. Okay, let's see what we have so far. Okay, let's see what we have so far, before and after. I think I like this. All right, let's see the edges. Being deliberate about the edges actually. I love what I see on the edges. I think it's fine. So for this, I think we are okay. Let's see before and after. I know some of you are thinking it's too much, so it's easy to do. Just come to the properties like we did earlier. Make sure you select the mask and come to feather, and just let me zoom in so that we see better, and just increase your feather just like that. You see, increase the feather until you get what you want. I'll keep increasing, and at this point I think I like this side. I'll click OK. So let's see before and after. Before and after, you can see massive difference before and after. Then we'll come back to our shadow, just the brush the same way, and we just paint on those parts that you think there should be shadow. Don't forget, your own portrait might be different from mine, so always work based on the portrait you have. All right, this part should be dark, this part should be dark. Okay, let's see before and after. Before and after, I think we mistakenly painted into this part. It shouldn't be that, so you can always repaint. Just change your brush to black and probably increase your flow so that we just clean this part that we've painted now. Yes, as simple as that. Then we'll do the same thing the way we did for the light, the highlight part, which is the what do they call it, the feather. So we'll just increase the feather as well. You can see once you increase around 52, we're beginning to have the effects that we want. Okay, before and after, you can see the effect before and after, and I think I'm okay like this. Click OK. Now let's quickly briefly see what we've done so far. Before and after, before and after. Massive difference. If you think it's too much, you can always come back and reduce the opacity. But for the sake of this tutorial, I want you to see the effect very well. I'm not going to reduce anything. So let's group everything all together, both the paint and the curves. Let's say before and after. Massive difference. Look at what we have now. Beautiful before and after. Before we're having that crisp, that texture look here, but now we're having that oily, soft looking, well defined hair. And that brings us to the end of the tutorial. If you know you've learned something, please subscribe, make comments, and share. See you in my next tutorial.